Good evening guys and welcome back to the Fergie Way with me, Teach FM. We are into episode 33 now guys, and we are playing Chelsea away from home today down at the Bridge. Always a good game to see. But before that, we're going to have a quick look at our standings in the Premier League, how we're looking in the Champions League, and just have a general view on the squad. I have been reading the comments about Romagnoli from AC Milan, and I'll be honest, as of yet, I am still undecided as when I'm going to sign him, so we'll maybe look at that today as well. So first thing I wanted to look at today, guys, was the news, and there has not been much of it. Schneiderlin has picked himself up an injury, however, but fortunately for us, it'll only see him out for a couple of weeks, because with the loss of Renato Sanchez, we are starting to look a little bit thin in midfield, and of course, as we are in mid to late January now, as you get to February, if you're in all the cups, the fixtures start coming thick and fast, and we'll have to use the full depth of the squad for a long period of time now. So I need these guys fit and ready to play. And as we can see, guys, it is only 3 players that we are missing now. Renato Sanchez, who we're not likely to see. We have Rashawn Williams, who will be back in a few weeks, and Schneiderlin back in a couple of weeks. So with a little bit of luck, as these fixtures start to get congested, we'll be all right going forward, and we can always pull from the under-23s or even the under-18s if we need to start plugging gaps. I did just want to take a look at the schedule in this episode, guys, and show you the utter decimation we have handed out. I'll just scroll through here, of course. One thing I will touch on the last game. In fact, no, before I scroll through and we'll have a quick look at all that sort of jazz, we will take a look at the 2-0 victory we had against Tottenham since our last episode. As you can see, guys, it was Juan Mata and Zlatan Ibrahimovic who picked up the goals. One thing I've noticed since maybe, I don't know, December time would be that maybe we've been found out. It happens a lot on FM. Anyone who's a long-time player of FM, sometimes you find that something's working and it works for a long period of time and then boom, it just falls over, just collapses. Your formation goes to shit and your players' morale starts to drop and you just start to sort of lose, which is not necessarily what's gone on here. It's not fell flat on its face yet, but I'm finding now that I'm playing more games that are very much 50-50 with, I mean, if you look at this now, we were away from home. We were down at White Hart Lane, but both teams registered a decent amount of shots. Tottenham getting more than us with 17 and we got 10. We both hit 5 on target each. The fouls were pretty much the same, and we ended up with 46% possession to them and 54% to us. That's relatively, I wouldn't say unheard of. We do come up against sort of tough games in the league, and that's what happens. But it's not that often. But it has been more often since December time. So maybe we're starting to get found out. Maybe we'll have to look at changing the formation up. Maybe drop back to the 4-4-2, because I can still do that. If I play Mata out on the right, I can play Memphis out on the left. The options are there. For now, we'll leave it as it is. But I think the next few games will shape the way we look at the formation going forward. So as I was saying, guys, the schedule, it's almost all green. Ignore the friendlies, of course, because, you know, they were all against small teams. But we picked up a loss in the early stages against Real Madrid in the Super Cup, of course. I wouldn't go as far as saying we got taught a lesson. That was a draw, if you remember, guys, way back then. And a bit unfortunate. Ended on penalties. No way to end a cup final, but it was what it was. Sunderland then managed to hold us to a draw when we were at their home ground, down at the Stadium of Light, or should I say up at the Stadium of Light. A very drab 0-0 draw at that. We then drew with Salzburg when we was playing the kids, which was no big issue. It wasn't something we were bothered about. And as you know, in the last episode, Stoke held us to a draw. We did manage to snatch a late goal via Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but Stoke held us to a draw in the League Cup. So today's live com is against Chelsea down at the Bridge. Now, as we know, in the last episode, or the one before that, we took a look at Chelsea, and they are not doing too well in the league. Currently sat 9th, but that does springboard us conveniently over to having a look at the Premier League and seeing how the standings are looking. So as we can see, guys, we still have that 15-point gap over Arsenal, having still not lost a single game in the league. Arsenal 15 points. They've lost 3. Tottenham, who we did just play in the previous game, we beat them 2-0. They're sat in 3rd. With Liverpool and City in 4th and 5th. However, they are on joint points, but Liverpool do have a game in hand. Chelsea, as we know, have had a pretty poor season. They're sat in 9th. However, they are up from 14th from when we last had a look. And the bottom 3 remain unchanged from when we were last here, with Hull, Palace and Bournemouth all struggling to keep up with anybody else in the Premier League. maybe what comes as the biggest shock as we look down here is Afobe, who is playing for relegation struggling Bournemouth, is top goal scorer in the Premier League now with 12. Now, we are into January and we don't have a player up there. Little bit concerning maybe, maybe not, because my 4 strikers have all equally pitched in with our goals and are probably all sitting in and around 9 or 10. As we can see in the average rating, those guys, this is where we start clearing up, holding all 3 top positions with Smalling, Mata and Darmian all in the high 7s, which is good to see. At least we're doing something right, but you would expect those ratings from a team who is decimating the Premier League. Mata with 11 assists, leading the assist charts there with Ross McCormack behind him and Fernando Llorente behind him. Player of the matches at the moment is going to Andre Gray of Burnley, another team who is sort of punching above their weight maybe, sat in 8th, Burnley having a decent run this Premier League, and Sanchez sat equal to him for Arsenal, which we expect to see again. David De Gea, 15 clean sheets currently, which is wow. So I'll tell you what else we'll do. We didn't do this last time. We'll take a quick look at the Championship. Nothing long. We're not going to look at goal scorers or anything like that. But we'll take a look who's maybe looking at making the step up this year. And as we can see, guys, West Brom currently lead in the Championship with Dave Azapardi's Wolves sat in 2nd, which he'll be pretty pleased with. And also a notable one would be GW's Leeds United, also in with a shot, certainly looking to cement themselves a place in the playoffs. So we're not going to look any further than that. Everton, also up there, which as we say, they're a bit of a cursed team, always going down, don't know what the crack is there, but Everton also in the playoffs. So yeah, I thought it was worth a quick nose, a little bit of a look, but what we'll do now is we'll just take a quick look at the Champions League standings and then we'll head over to today's live com. So as we know, guys, in the Champions League, we did manage to get a draw against Juventus, which is the sort of thing we wanted. It would be nice if we can beat them, of course, if we progress, to be playing these big teams and hopefully beat them up to the march to the final. But I really want to be playing the bigger teams in Europe this season. But once again, as we look at the player stats, which we did do a number of episodes ago, there's just no one there worth a mention. I mean, Lewandowski's made his way there in the goal scoring charts. He's sat in 3rd at the moment, but it's all just crap. I mean, not crap, you know, maybe not giving these players enough respect. Obviously, Lustig at Celtic there is doing very well. Are Celtic still in the competition? No, they're not. So, yeah, there we go. But yeah, just some bang average players all sat up here. We've got Luan playing at Benfica, I suppose. It's just strange for me not to be seeing them world beaters, your Suarez, your Neymar, your Ronaldo, your Bale, all these players who normally sort of fill these player stats. Just not there. I mean, and in fact, the fact that we don't have a single player in there, I don't know, I look at this screen and I feel a little bit drab, you know? And there we still have Romagnoli, and the decision has still not been made. I have been reading the comments, guys, but at the moment, no one else is pushing for him. And if no one else is pushing for him, it means I don't have to make a move regardless of how I feel. That may change. Someone like City may just come and rush in, chuck a bid in, and I'll have to make a snap decision there and then as to whether I want to make a move for him. And that may even hinge on the fact if one of my rivals in the league are going to go for him, I might be thinking like, well, no chance. I'll just rather, you know, I've got like 70 odd million to spend. Just jump in, snatch my way just so they can't have him because I'm a little bit spiteful like that. But decision's not been made, guys. We can rumble on and talk about it, but to be honest, we're on the 17th of Jan, and maybe between this episode and the next episode we'll get there and the decision will be out and out made whether I'll buy him or not. But still something I'm thinking about. One thing I do want to ask from you guys in the comments today though is, how are you feeling about the way the United save's going, and do we definitely call it a draw at the end of this season? Do you want to see more? Do we knock it in the head, move on to something new? Hit me with your comments, guys. How do you feel it's going? Do you want to see more? If we win the Champions League, maybe do we call it a draw at that? Or maybe if we don't, do we press on and maybe continue this on up until that defining point? I'm easy, guys. I'm enjoying it enough to carry it on, but equally, I'm happy to move on to something completely fresh and new if that's what you guys want to do. So down in the comments, put what you think. I'll have a nosy and we'll take it from there. So here we are then, guys, on match day, down at the bridge against Chelsea. Chelsea maybe not flying so high right now, so it's no surprise that both the press and the bookies put us as favourites. Chelsea's key man being Courtois and United's key man being Paul Pogba. Ordinarily now I'd have a little dig about the key man like Courtois. Maybe he's going to have to pull out some saves there, but I'll be honest, we've not exactly been in goal scoring form. So if he's their key man and he's going to be on his game today, we may find it a little bit tough to put something past Chelsea. So we will go on to the team selection today, guys, and we will start with Chelsea. We're playing a 5-3-2. This could be interesting. They are going to set up defensively. We've got that with Chelsea just lately in the last few years. I'm pretty sure they're being led by Laurent Blanc nowadays. So we've got Courtois in goal, and the three central defenders being Cahill, Zuma and David Luiz. Marcos Alonso out left, laying out on the right, and then they have Kante, Højbjerg, and Fabregas all sat in the middle line. So set up relatively defensively. You'd imagine Fabregas is going to be trying to push up the pitch. And they have Diego Costa and Mario Mandzukic up top. The interesting thing here is, guys, that Diego Costa did make his way onto the transfer list right at the beginning of the year. So either no one was interested in buying him or the newer manager has decided, you know what, we'll keep hold of you, son. And then we'll go on to our team. De Gea in the sticks, Alaba, Bailly, Smalling and Sidibe making up the back four. Paul Pogba, Daley Blind and Herrera in the middle, with Juan Mata in a Trequartista role and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Depay into the squad based on his current form, Martial and Rashford only making their way onto the bench. But depending on how the goal scoring goes in this game, there's likely to be chances to both of them players. So we'll move on to the Irish inflictor of pain and see what he has to say today, because he normally gives a bit of a kicking out to Chelsea. And not that much. Unsurprisingly so, Fabregas is always one who he lends out a bit of a kicking to. But to be honest, I'm going to trust Roy's wisdom here today. I'm not going to play with anything else because, to be honest, I'm not that fearful of what Chelsea will give us going forward. Probably going to eat them words, but we'll see how we get on. And on to the team talk. And Roy's saying challenge to pick up where we left off, but I'm assertively going to tell them I want them to win because I've not been that assertive with them just late. It has given the attacking options a little bit of a morale there, but I feel I need to do something different. I feel as though they've slowed off the pace in the last sort of 4 or 5 games, and I really want them to kick on and do something different this game. So rather than what I would normally passionately tell them to do something here, I'm not going to do anything with the strikers because they're already green, but I'm going to tell the midfielders that I'm expecting them to take control of midfield, and I'm going to tell the defenders that I'm expecting to see solid work out there. It's not give us anything, but I'm in a very expectant mood right now. I want these guys to, this is no longer, hey, you'll do all right. This is like, come on, knuckle down now. We're in January. We need to start putting together some good sequences as we head into a very, very congested fixture list. It's Alaba now with a free kick. Alaba's got the ball back. He will try and get down the left-hand side. Those gave it to Pogba. Pogba gives it away to Zuma. Zuma clears it out to Mandzukic, and that's the end of that highlight. It's Sidibe now. To Pogba. To Herrera. Mata. Mata gives the ball away to Marcos Alonso. That's a couple of mistakes we've made in the middle of the park already. Not a great start by us here. We have got the possession, but we just keep giving the ball away. Again, 3 times. Ah, Jesus Christ. It's Mandzukic now. Diego Costa's moving into the area. Pogba manages to get in there, intercepts the ball, but again, it's been given out only as far as Alonso. It's Mandzukic, plays Diego Costa in, saved by De Gea. Early signs are not looking that great for United here. It's Mata now. Again, Jesus wept. What is going on? We have took it back. We have scored, thankfully, via Ibrahimovic. But we just keep giving the ball away. So as we can see, Cahill was dwelling on the ball. Pogba takes it off him. It goes to Memphis. Memphis plays it into Ibrahimovic. We do manage to go 1-0 up, but I have huge concerns about just how much we're giving the ball away in the middle. The passes aren't getting to where they need to go, and Chelsea will punish us if we're not careful. As Ibrahimovic marches forward now to Mata. Mata takes a woeful shot. Now, Mata's given away 2 passes early on, and that shot was absolutely shocking. A shit show at the moment from Mata, and if he doesn't buckle up, I will bring on young Angel Gomez and put him in his place. Now it's Mata now to Memphis. Memphis with a distant shot. Does go just wide of the post. We are starting to show a little bit of attacking intent, maybe a little bit of threat as Mata now crosses it in. Comes out as far as Sidibe. Sidibe gives it to Smalling. Pogba now. Pogba with a distant shot. I don't know what they're playing at. Why are you fucking shooting from back there? So we are limiting Chelsea to chances, although they will have one here. Pogba's picked it up though. Memphis will counter-attack now. Memphis charging down the right. Oh my good lord. I mean, I've always rated David Luiz. He's one of those, he's a little bit of a defender you sort of should dislike. He's a little bit dirty and stuff, but he is a great defender. I think he's a cracking defender. When Chelsea bought him back this year in real life, a lot of people were like, well, what are they doing? And I'm like, best bit of business I've seen in a long time. Memphis now to Mata. We do make it 2-0. Mata punishing his old club after I've just given him absolute slating on the live com. And it's good to see him come good. It's Memphis here, turns in, whips the ball across. That's 2 assists for Memphis in this game. He's proven his worth. I like Memphis, I really do. And he surprised me last season when he started doing so well. So I'll try and fit him in where possible. Martial and Rashford haven't had the greatest of recent form. And we might get another goal there. No. Martial and Rashford haven't had the greatest of form in the last 5 games. So I trusted him today, played him, and at the moment, it's paying off. It's Leon now. Leon's whipped it into Kante. Kante maybe should have scored there. It did come back off the post. Chelsea will get a corner. It's Herrera now to Pogba. Pogba out to Alaba. Alaba got stuck in the middle and Diego Costa will try and release Mandzukic, but Mandzukic won't be that fast if he plays it that way. He doesn't. Goes backwards to Leon. Kante now. Mandzukic. Kante again. Kante with another shot. It's puzzling how Kante's a man making his way up the pitch, I'll be brutally honest. I think if I was going to give that role to anyone, it would be Fabregas, but maybe Laurent Blanc knows a little bit better. But for me, Kante should be right at the back. Like, right at the back. So we do go into half-time, 2 goals to the good guys, which is pretty good, despite the fact we had a pretty dodgy start. So I'm going to tell them that I'm pretty happy with them, and to keep it up. And on that, we'll just go straight into the second half and see how they get on. The first highlight will always be a little bit crap, but yeah, the Kante thing. He's got no business being up that end of the pitch. Now, he's not been known to be a great goal scorer, and Courtois tipping it over there. It's Kante now to Fabregas, Mandzukic, Marcos. And Chelsea have scored via a Diego Costa header. You could sort of, I won't go as far as saying you could feel it coming, but we could see with Kante pressing up the field, they have been told to get further forward, and it has worked for them on this occasion. Diego Costa rising above everybody, nodding it into the back post. A little bit disappointed that he didn't get his hands to it, but nonetheless, Pogba at the other end, before we even had a chance to finish what we're talking about, with a thumping volley from the edge of the box. Well done, Pogba, to create that 2-goal gap again. Mata playing it out, Pogba there, straight into the top bag. Courtois had no chance. And to go from the disappointment of conceding to that is happy going for a manager. So it's Bailly now to Alaba, Pogba, Mata, out to Alaba again, back to Pogba. Pogba and Alaba sort of forging a strong partnership up there. They're always having the sort of passing combination to see it in the post-game screens. It's always Alaba, always Pogba. They always seem to play off each other, which is quite nice. I mean, obviously they play on the same side of the pitch, but the completion rate is always good. It's Pogba again now. Pogba puts it in the back of the net. Pogba from these corners at the moment is picking the ball up, smashing them at goal. Courtois, their key man, not really having much chance, not much luck at all today. Pogba there, right foot. Courtois couldn't get anywhere near it. 2 fine finishes from Pogba in the space of around about 6 or 8 in-game minutes. So we're in the 60th minute, guys, and Herrera has just picked up a booking. So I'm going to take the opportunity to bring on Fosu Mensah just to sort of try and steady the ship a bit. I've not changed anything up top. Zlatan grabbing himself a goal. And of course, Memphis with a couple of assists. I'm pretty happy with the way the attacking attempt is going. So it's Sidibe now, down the right-hand wing, into Pogba. The guy's been sort of in the thick of everything today. Back to Pogba again. He just wants the ball back at every opportunity. And it's with Pogba again to Fosu Mensah. Mata now plays it to Alaba, and he's got a weak shot. It's gone to Courtois' hands, but this is turning into what could be a serious drubbing for Chelsea and maybe a big scoreline for us. So Lozano, their new signing, Herling Lozano from the Mexican team Pachuca, I believe. They've just bought him in the January window, spending something like 30 million quid. Obviously looking to try and up their position in the league this year. It's Fabregas, Zuma, out to Matic, who I forget's even there. It's Leon. Leon will cross it. It's Diego Costa at the near post. He's nodded it over the bar, though. Chelsea's chance does go begging, and we are in the final 15 minutes, guys. I'm probably going to leave Memphis and Zlatan Ibrahimovic there, guys, but we'll bring on Darmian for Sidibe, who has had a great game, it has to be said, but he has been booked as well, so we'll take him off. And hopefully, at 4-1, guys, I can't see Chelsea getting back in it, can you? With the form that they've had lately, they've not been good enough, not really. It's Darmian now. Fosu-Mensah to Blind. Blind to Mensah. Mensah has been hitting them from there just lately, but he's not going to get the chance here. Oh, cut out by Marcus Alonso. Darmian's back on the ball to Blind now. Pogba to Ibra. Tries to turn on the ball, doesn't get nowhere. And Chelsea might turn this into a counter-attack. Nah, they've had it stripped off them again. Pogba now to Ibra. David Alaba. Mensah has hit it. That's where he's been hitting them from. Unfortunately, that one was straight into the hands of Courtois. But that's the position he's been putting himself in. Just on the edge of the box, on his right foot. And he scored 2 in almost 3 or 4 games there. Right next to each other. 2 great ones. We saw one in the goal of the month. But Mensah again on the ball now. And it's Pogba. 85th minute now, guys. David Alaba bombing down the left wing. Cross it as far as Mensah again. I thought he was going to hit it first time. He didn't know. He might do this time. Oh, he's put it wide. Unlucky Fosu-Mensah. One of those guys from season 1 who have really pushed into the first team. Cemented a place, I would say now. Valuable member. Maybe not valuable. Maybe not indispensable, but certainly a first team member. As David De Gea pushes one over the bar. Off a weak cross, it has to be said. But the resulting corner can give Chelsea a chance late in the game here. It's Leon Diego Costa nods it wide. And that'll be the end of that highlight. So we head into the final highlight, guys. It is a corner for us. Paul Pogba has dominated today, and it has to be said that Juan Mata too has had a great game. We're going to have to tell him that. We're going to congratulate the team on a solid win, just as Roy says. So well done, lads. But I have to pull out Paul Pogba, saying very happy with him, and tell the same to Juan Mata, because once again, he had a great game. And as Memphis Depay got nothing from it, no motivation whatsoever, I'm going to tell him he had a good game because he was part of them first 2 goals. He looks fired up now. Lovely jubbler. So one thing I will say, guys, just at the end of that game is morale is so important. I bleat on about morale all the time, but I often say this, and it's almost like we're playing morale manager, not football manager. And these are the reasons why. You highlight the players after the game who have done well, and it's got to be said, someone, if anyone on my team ends with like a 6.4 or lower, I absolutely kick their ass because it motivates them as well. But as you can see here, manager support, boosts matter. So midfielder said that he'd been pleased with his own performance and was delighted that the manager had taken the time to pay tribute to his contribution. The more you do this, the more you keep the morale high. Now, I'm on a bit of a ripper of a series here because I'm with a strong team. But if you couple that strong team with great morale, you will always get good things. So guys, as we do come to the close of this episode, it's time to take a look at the schedule. And I can't help but think that the way forward is to do both the cup games again, because they fell side by side yet again. It's a Stoke game, the return leg, and then it's Reading away in the FA Cup. So I feel that they have to be in the next episode, which is closing. You know, we're almost here for every game, and I get that, but I want you guys to see as much of my series as I'm seeing. I want you to see all this going on. So tomorrow's episode will include both those games. So there we have it, guys. That's today's episode, all done and dusted. I would like to say once again, chuck in the comment section whether you want to see us continue this on, knock it in the head, whatever you want to do, just bang it down in the comment section. I'll have a read, we'll have a look through, we'll come up with something. Something will be decided about the way this series is going to go. So on that note, guys, thanks for coming. If you did enjoy the episode, hit the like button. If you're new around here, hit the sub button, and hopefully I will see you in tomorrow's episode. I've been Teach FM. I'll catch you later. See you in a bit.